In Italy, when somebody states the obvious as though it were some grand realization, he's mockingly complimented for inventing hot water. Hai scoperto l'acqua calda. Well, here's some hot water for you. There's nothing about a Michelin star meal that makes it inherently better than a burger. I'm sure most reasonable people would instinctively agree with that, right? I mean, after all, the elements that tend to make fine dining, quote, better, quality ingredients and craftsmanship, they're not the exclusive domain of haute cuisine. In fact, there's no guarantee that those elements will even be present in stuff that's labeled as fine dining. I mean, you know how annoying it is when you get those fake fine dining experiences. You get the veneer, the presentation, the pretentiousness, the tiny portions, and of course the price of fine dining, but not the quality, not the attention to detail, not the artistry and inventiveness, and above all, not the flavor. It's a total rip-off, and it makes you realize, well, there's nothing here that makes this fine dining, despite having those sort of ticked boxes in the manual for what makes it fine dining. But that makes you also appreciate the truth that there's nothing about a Michelin star meal that makes it inherently better than a burger. But the thing is, the more we look at ourselves and the people around us, the more we realize that this fairly trivial truth, this hot water, if you will, isn't something we actually tend to live by. In fact, sometimes it feels like there's a weird unspoken agreement between us that some categories of things are just superior to others. So opera is superior to techno, period drama is superior to action, and so on. And then you get the flip side. You've got the anti-snob approach, what's today called the populist approach. I'm not sure I agree with that term, but you know what I mean. It's the idea that artsy stuff is just cerebral and fancy, and therefore just can't grab you by the nuts the same way plain old rock and roll can. You know, I'll pick my meat and potatoes over that fancy stuff anytime. Sure, I mean, if all you're saying is what you prefer, then that's legit. But as an actual statement of something being better than something else, it's wrong. And either way, you're missing out. Because these dogmas, this idea that category X is just better than category Y, they run contrary to what we intuitively feel. But by unconsciously accepting these dogmas, we deprive ourselves of all manner of great experiences across a shit ton of categories. And missing out on something special just because we dismissed its whole genre as being beneath us, above us, or just not our thing, I think that's dumb. Because both within the world of meat and potatoes and the world of delicate fancy stuff, there's good and there's bad. So to fix this attitude, I came up with a hot water takeaway. And this is hot water takeaway 1. What matters is not whether something is a fine work of art or a donut, but its quality and its impact. But here's something not quite as obvious. The impact is mostly determined by us. So let's break down these categories of highbrow and lowbrow a bit.